Hey beauties, welcome back. Today we're going to be testing out the new Nars Soft Matte Foundation. This is what it looks like on my face so far. And if you want to see also how I got this look, then just continue to keep on watching. Hey beauties, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the new Nars Soft Matte Complexion Foundation. This is relatively new. I have my color in Light to Mont Blanc. It's what I use in the Nars Sheer Glow. I'll give you a little swatch. It comes with a squeeze tube and the packaging is matte and nice. I think it would be good for traveling. Give you a little swatch here of the color that I use. Looks like that. It's a neutral tone. This is a neutral toned foundation. Looks like it comes in 33 shades. I'm on the Sephora website, is actually where I purchased mine. Let me just scroll down for a second so I can read just a little bit about it. This says it's a 16-hour oxidization resistant foundation that balances oil while maintaining hydration, skin-like finish, protects from pollution and blue light. The finish is soft matte. It says it says for normal dry combination and oily skin. So we're going to put this on my face today. That's what I have on now. Going to test this out, and if you want to see how this wore on my skin for 12 hours, then just continue to keep on watching. Just going in here with some Smashbox primer water, letting that dry on my face. Like I always do, we're going to also go in with a pore filler just to give this foundation a fair chance. That's the Dr. Brandt one. We're going to apply this in the T-zone. Just going to do what I normally do to any foundation. I always put primer water and some kind of pore filler on my face. And this is one that I trust and love, so I'm going to apply this just to the center of my face. Rub that in my pores. Rub on my forehead, down my nose, and on my chin also. Really don't need to put any on the outside of my face, just to fill in the pores. And that looks good. We're going to go in with this Nars Soft Matte new foundation. It comes with a little squeeze tube. It looks just like this. I'm going to put some on the back of my hand. I wasn't sure how much I would need, so only a little squirt. And as you can see here, it's like matte. That's the color on the back of my hand. I'm going to dot this all over my face. I wasn't sure if a little went a long way or if I needed more. So just dotting that all over the face. And then going in with my e.l.f. sponge and just pouncing that in the skin. And as you can see right there, it is full coverage. I noticed that right off the bat when I put that on my face, that it covered up that hyperpigmentation and the redness that I have on my face. And I noticed this one was not just sitting on top of my skin. It was actually melting in the skin. A lot of foundations that I do try, you can see just sit right on top of the skin and look very makeup-y. This did not do that. It went in the skin nicely. And like it says, it is soft matte. It wasn't just a straight matte finish. Just pouncing that all over the face, putting that everywhere. I even put my foundation over my eyes. And a little bit down my neck. But as you can see there, it was pretty full coverage. It looked like my skin. You couldn't tell that I had foundation on. It wasn't makeup-y looking. I feel like, though, if you were to try and build this up, it could start looking makeup-y and a little bit cakey just because it is so full coverage. But I look close in the mirror here, and as you can see, look pretty good. The color is a little bit cool tone for me, but it's the closest match that Nars has. So we're going to go in with the Dose of Colors concealer as usual in the color 03 Fair. And just to the center of my face to highlight my face. Down the bridge of my nose, between the brows, on my lids. I always prime my lids with the concealer because we're going to put some eyeshadow on today. And also wanted to see how this concealer was going to sit on top of this foundation. And this concealer here, the Dose of Colors, is the best concealer that I own. So whenever I try a new foundation, I try to use this one just because I know that what this concealer looks like. So if it starts to look gappy or patchy or sitting on top of the skin, that it's the foundation underneath making it do that. Because this concealer here is the best concealer that I own. So going ahead and priming my lids with the same concealer. Same thing with the other eye. Just pouncing that in the skin. And this did go over beautifully on top of that foundation. It didn't look weird or cakey or anything like that. And as you can see there, it looks like my skin. Same thing, we're going to go in with the two powders that I normally go in with. The Hailey's Beauty and then the e.l.f. Halo Glow. Both of these have some kind of blurring effect because when I put this on, I have pores no more. Just like my primer. Like my pores literally disappear and go away. These both have like a blurring effect. So I do mix the two. The Halo Glow is just a little bit glowy for me. And right here I was feeling my cheek to see if it was tacky, and it was not. The foundation totally sits down. It doesn't feel sticky or tacky or anything like that. Just putting that powder all over the face to set the whole entire face. Just because I do have combination oily skin and am going to give this foundation the fair shot like I do any other foundation. And I always set my entire face. And usually with a loose powder. So, and I always just take the same sponge, and there you can see, looks beautiful. Doesn't look cakey, doesn't look heavy, it doesn't feel cakey, it doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't feel tight on my face. I don't feel any of that. So we're going to go in with the L'Oreal Bronze Please and just give ourselves some dimension. Putting that in the hollows of the cheeks. And this does have a little bit of sheen to it. But with a matte foundation, I like to use a bronzer that does have a little bit of sheen to it, just so I'm not using everything matte. I don't want to put matte on top of matte on top of matte. So I need some kind of life back to my face. So we're just putting that on the top parts of the cheeks. And then around the perimeters of my face, usually the forehead, the jawline. And there's no glitter or shimmer in this. And it does smell like coconuts. It's good. If you haven't tried it, you should. I always go between this one and my Milani Silk Bronzer, which has no sheen. It's matte. Then here we're going to go in with the Essence, the blush. Just putting that on the cheekbone. I never put blush on the apples of my cheeks. It makes me look like a clown. Just personal preference. But I always try to keep things to the back of my face to give my face the lifted look. And not too much makeup today. We're just focusing more on the foundation. But I am going to take a little highlight. This is the O for All of the Lights. And those lightest two shades. And then give ourselves some highlight on the top of those cheekbones. Even if I'm not wearing a matte foundation, if I'm wearing a natural matte or even a luminous foundation, I'm always going to put a little bit of highlighter on. So just putting that on the high points of our face, forehead, cupid's bow, down the bridge of the nose, cheekbones, brow bone. Anywhere that the light would naturally hit my face is where I'm going to put this highlighter. And as you can see there, I'm glowing. And then we're going to go in with the ColourPop Blush Crush and that lightest shade. Just throw that all over the lid. Going with this peach shade, throw that in the crease. And like I said, today we're not doing too much on the eyes. It's more about the foundation today. Just throwing that peach shade in the crease of the eye. Same thing with the other eye. I'm going to go ahead and set my makeup now with a Milani Fruit Fetish, and that was the coconut one. And we're going to go in with this little green shade here. I got this actually from Dollar Tree. My local Dollar Tree had a bunch of these, so I just picked one up. And anytime I use a shimmer shade, I do use my finger. And this did have sheen and shimmer to it, so, and it was beautiful to be $1. So throwing that on. I usually don't wear color on the lid too much, but today, since I had bought it, I figured let's try it out. And as you can see, for $1 was pretty pigmented. But I never use a brush for any shimmer or glitter shadows. Your finger is the best tool for these kind of eyeshadows. Going back in with that Blush Crush and that middle shade at the bottom. And running that through the crease. After I applied that green color, just felt like my eyes needed some more in the crease. Looked a little naked to me. Same thing with the other eye, windshield wiper motion. Just to give my eyes a little bit of dimension. Just felt like it really needed that after that green pop of color. That same color on the bottom of the lash line, just run a little bit to match the top. And then the same thing on the other eye, of course. Keeping it simple today. Going in with some Thrive Cosmetics mascara. My favorite mascara of life. And just going to throw this on my lashes. And yes, I always blink when I do my mascara. I've been doing that for years. And mascara always hits the back of my lid. That's not anything I can help. No matter what mascara I use, I always have to go in when I'm done and clean it up with a Q-tip. So just throwing a coat of that on. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other eye. And as you can see there, big, huge difference. My eyelashes are blonde, so if I don't wear mascara, it looks like I have no eyelashes at all. But going in with that same mascara on the other eye. And I blink and I wiggle back and forth just so I can get closest to the lash line as possible. To make my lashes look thick, because they're already pretty super long. So, and as you can see, it's messy right here under my eye. I have cleaned that up. Going in with a little bit of lip gloss here. This is the Essence Shine Shine Shine. And a little bit of NYX lip liner. Keeping it simple today. And this is the finished makeup look, and this foundation is on my skin beautifully. It doesn't look heavy, cakey, it doesn't feel tight. It looks very nice, and so we're going to start the wear test now and see what happens. So far, so good. Hey guys, this is the 4-hour check-in. I've had this Nars Soft Matte Foundation on for 4 hours now, and I'm still loving it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm not oily. It's not oily here, between my brows, on my nose, on my chin, where I normally get oil. It looks like my skin. Doesn't look too drying. Doesn't feel heavy, doesn't feel tight, doesn't feel cakey. So far, so good. It's not breaking up anywhere, and even around my nose, even around my nose where it normally starts to like come apart, and down here sometimes where I lose some. And I ran to the dollar store and I had to wear a mask. It wasn't on that long, maybe about 30 minutes, but it didn't disrupt the foundation, not even on my nose, which is pretty dang good. So hey guys, back with the last check-in. I did have something in my eye a little bit ago. I had to take my eye makeup off. I do still have the foundation on, probably not around this area here, just because I had to literally take my eye makeup off. I had something in this eye. But I would recommend this foundation. It did wear well. I wore it for about 10.5 hours. I do still have it on for what it is. Obviously it came off here from me taking my eye makeup off, but it was a good foundation, and I do give it a thumbs up. And thanks for watching, and see you in my next video.